Now this is a fun one for me. J-Wall versus Pavin in the Madden 21 Co-op Championship. J-Wall, a close friend of mine. We came up in the Madden community together. Him much more than myself, but we both were in TNC to start, and we've known each other basically since we both started competing for four years now, almost 5. Man coverage is a huge meta in this game. Now I do apologize kind of for the kind of crappy quality of the footage here, but I think we'll be able to make do. I think it's all right. J-Wall's been running a lot of trips, and you'll see Pavin running a lot of bunch in this game, and both of them on defense running a ton of man coverage. Okay, now the big key here that you're gonna see for both offenses is these tight ends right here. Okay, and while this is a game from Madden 21, obviously we're about to go into Madden 23. The reason I think this is important is because these things a lot of times find a way to repeat themselves. Whether in this Madden, next Madden, the other Madden after that, a lot of things in Madden find a way to repeat themselves year after, to some extent, you know, over the course of a few years. So being knowledgeable about things in the past can be super helpful for you getting a jump start on things in the future. That's something that's one of the reasons that I'm really good at the beginning of every year. Even if me and you have never played the game before, there's a good chance we both pick up the controllers, I'm going to be significantly better than you because I have an awesome understanding of what used to be good and able to pick up on what's good in the game very fast because of that. So, with that being said, tight ends are very important. You see that he has some X factors on him. J-Wall immediately makes a super dumb mistake and pushes himself to a big 3rd and 13. This is a game, too, where people would punt. Okay, defense was very, very good in this game, so people would punt. It wouldn't be that wild for them to punt. Who do they have at quarterback? Is that Aaron? Is that Aaron Rodgers? Number 12? We'll see in a second. No, Rich Gannon. That's right. Rich Gannon. Yeah. So, one of the biggest plays that they would use to beat man coverage was a motion crosser and then playmaker. So, it wasn't man right here. Pavin has to use this motion crosser, able to playmaker this guy up right into this little seam right here, and able to hit him. Right? Had Pavin's user went to the playmaker instead, would have thrown the crosser. Very, very simple. A lot of these concepts are going to be fairly transferable year to year. Of just making the user have to choose between 2 routes, right? Putting the user in a position where they have to choose. The defense Pavin keeps on showing up a little weird. Oh, geez, this cutback is so big. This cutback was so big for a lot of those TNC guys. Something that I did in the Madden 20 Club Championships, J-Wall doing here. You see this entire side of the field is wide open. Now this is a run going to the left, but as soon as you get this handoff, you take it, boom, cut right up that right seam, and that's exactly what he does, right? Just has to make this guy miss. He can't make the guy miss. J-Wall laughing about it because he knows if he makes that guy miss, it's probably a tutty. And you see Pavin all the way into man coverage. The way you know it's man coverage is this right side of the field for trips is wide open, right? No DB. And then DB, DB, DB on top of every receiver here, right? Basically saying man coverage. There's a chance it could be zone, but more often than not man coverage. And J-Wall going right back to that inside zone. Actually could have cut it back right there, but he saw the opening to the outside, just keeping the handoff, so he does do that. So, and J-Wall, this is kind of an example of J-Wall doing a good job of not always trying to do too much. While that cutback is good, sometimes you just have a natural lane right here, right? And it's not a bad idea just to take that lane, right? You don't always have to try to do fancy shit. You have an opportunity to take a lane, take it. Motion over, out and up. All right, so let's look at this in terms of beating man coverage. We have, let's see, does it show the player again? No? Okay, tight end crosser. Remember, tight end is super important. Beats man, right? We have this drag, which can get playmaker backwards, would beat man. And this out and up right here, gonna beat man. Has 3-man beating routes against a man defense. Very important. But Pavin gets really good pressure, sending only 3, which J-Wall, I'm sure, is very frustrated about. Lawrence Taylor pushed him to a 2nd and 20. J-Wall doing kind of a cardinal sin right there, which typically J-Wall is awesome about, and taking a really bad sack, right? 2nd and 20s, if you're gonna take a sack, you want to minimize how big that sack is. J-Wall just took a 10-yard sack, which obviously is not good. He's going right back to this play, right? So we have this drag, where if it's man coverage, he's gonna playmaker this drag back, which is gonna beat man. Tight end crosser will beat man, right? Has an ability on him. This out and up will also beat man, and this S post can beat man. Okay, so multiple man beating options here. Multiple man beating options. Great pocket right there. That's an awesome example of J-Wall having some of the best pocket in the game. Let's just watch his quarterback right here. He ends up hitting that playmaker, but watch the quarterback. Step right, boom. Look, this pressure is so scary, and he steps up just a little bit to be able to let his halfback pick it up, and now he cuts that 2nd and 20 to a 3rd and 2. Again, that sack, you can't afford to take that because, right, you should have a first down. After a play like that, you should have a first down. Here, he still has a chance to get stopped in the set of down, so 3rd and 3. Let's see what we got. Able to throw X, the curl route, able to beat man coverage with the quick on ag catch. And you can tell J-Wall's so prepared for this defense that Pavin's running. Pavin basically running a meta defense, right? Doing his own little twists and stuff to it, but Pavin just, you know, this defense J-Wall's seen for the past few months. Very experienced against it. And you see he's calling plays that he knows are going to work. He's very ready for this, right? And that's such a huge thing going into any type of game, whether it's an actual competitive MCS game or a weekend league game, a head-to-head game, anything like that, is knowing what the meta is and knowing how you're going to attack it. J-Wall knew already going into this game every single play call he was going to call against this style of defense. And he's doing it right here, right? Call a run on 1st and 10, got -1. Calls a run on 2nd and 11, gets 3rd and 5. I don't love the 2nd and 11 call right there. Yeah, I don't love it. He gets 6 yards, so it works out. 3rd and 5, you have 2 plays to be able to get that first down now, so you are in a good spot. And let's see, this tight end on a corner route, this is a really good man-beating route. It's just a little inconsistent, but he's able to make that read. Let's see, not open right there. Looking overall, pretty good defense from Pavin, but you see how lethal that playmaker is. An ability that we did not see in Madden 22 was playmaker really at all. And watch, playmaker, boom, goes back, able to hit that. Playmaker's so good at beating man coverage. We're on a 4th and 1 now. Does J-Wall go for this? Because this is a game where you not necessarily are going to get this 4th and 1, but J-Wall looks like he is going to go for it. And I like this call from him because it's 4th and 1 from the 31. J-Wall's one of the best offensive players in the world, probably literally ever. Well, one of the best, right? For the 31, you pretty much have all of your play calls, so you just have to trust yourself to be able to make that read and get that 1 yard. Okay, that's all you're doing is just saying, hey, I trust myself. So I love that play call. I love this decision. Pavin ends up calling timeout. A little misalignment on defense here. Let's skip ahead a little bit. 4th and 1 again. I think J-Wall's just going to go right back to the same play because he does like this call. Let's see. What do we have? And just barely able to fit it in. But J-Wall, one of the best offensive players in the world. That's open. That is an open ball. It's scary. It's definitely contested. It could get knocked out. But it is a good ball. 1st and 10 for J-Wall, keeping the drive alive. If you're Pavin, you have to be kind of happy. You forced him into a couple 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs, forced him to a 4th down now. So it's not like Pavin's playing bad defense, but he just can't seem to get off the field and be able to keep that momentum. Boom, right there. Honestly, that needs to get shot in the backfield. J-Wall able to break a tackle and get a gain of about 3. Pavin played pretty good run defense for the most part, honestly. Usually that run would gash this style of defense. Pavin doing a good job with his user of being able to get free and be able to set up other players to get free as well. We're going with a motion crosser, right? This is going to beat man coverage. This drag is going to beat man coverage and get playmaker back, okay? Let's see. Does he playmaker back? No, he does not. Instead, able to take off. Huge thing as well with people with good pocket. They're able to take off with the quarterback up the middle. I've talked about in the past how quarterbacks, like, you know, any kind of fast quarterback's really nice, but Rich Gannon here, I think Rich Gannon, he might have like 85 speed tops. And you see he's able to get a good gain of about 8 right there, Rich. Now we're in the red zone. You're going to see J-Wall's play calls start to change. Don't hate this. I do hate having to get out of your base offense this far away from the end zone, but sometimes it's just kind of how you have to play. It is hard to move the ball down here, so J-Wall clearly feels confident in the single back wide trips. Here's just kind of skip ahead a little bit, and yeah, you're going to see that. I mean, man coverage, playmaker backwards, and we're going to see that again beating man. Let's skip ahead a little bit more. I'm curious, is he audibling? What's he audibling to? He's audibling to doubles. Yeah, and this basically, I want to say this is a bunch of gimmick plays, but it's a bunch of plays that, I mean, it's hard to score down here, right? It's super hard to score. He gets shot right there, 3rd and 11. What's funny is that if he gets stopped on this play, he's probably going to end up kicking the 3, which he could have kicked earlier on that 4th and 1. It kind of, I mean, you have to kick if you get stopped right here. It's just like, oh man, I went for a 4th and 1 earlier in this, you know, around the 30. I got it, and I end up having to kick anyways, which just sucks. PA counter goes the play call. Let's see what J-Wall ends up doing here. I'm curious. Is he able to score? Oh, actually, bad user. Oh, actually, Pavin able to get the pick. I have forgotten that happened. I remember I watched this live, but no. So check this out. This is bad defense from Pavin. That's not me hating on Pavin. Check this out. Bear with me for a second, right? Let's talk about this. Pavin's user is right here. I know it's blurry, but Pavin's user is right here. He has this B is on a crosser. Pavin's user leaves it, right? B should be going to this back corner of the end zone. Instead, B hits and stops. That's not, J-Wall thought it was going to keep going to the corner of the end zone. It doesn't. I would be shocked if Pavin left that crosser knowing that was going to happen. If that is the case, then great defense from Pavin. I just don't think it was the case just because Pavin's not as familiar with trips tight end as J-Wall would be, right? Just common sense. So Pavin didn't get lucky by any means. It's just J-Wall the route just didn't run how J-Wall thought it would. And maybe that's a lack of practice on J-Wall's part. Maybe it was just a fluke thing right there. I'm not 100% sure, but that ends up being a huge play where J-Wall just worked so hard to get all the way down the field, just took off the entire first quarter and a half, right? We have 2.5 left in the second quarter. And now we're in a spot where, okay, well, Pavin has the ball back. So Pavin has the ball back, and he gets ball at half. 3rd and 11 for Pavin. We just skipped 2 crappy plays. Gun bunch is going to be the main formation for Pavin, representing the Oakland Raiders. By the way, a little tidbit, I do hope that they bring clubs back. I don't think they will. And Pavin's going to actually all one to PA boot over. Let's see what he does here. Running PA boot over, just very stock setup. And yeah, he's just going to playmaker that drag backwards to beat J-Wall's man coverage. He gets hit as he throws, though, and it's to throw out a sack. And you're going to see Pavin punt, because that's the type of game this is. People are punting on 4th downs. You have to. Defense is too good. And J-Wall, honestly, like, you're not as frustrated now that you got stopped. Obviously, you're still pretty frustrated because in your head, you're thinking, dang, could I have scored? I would have still gotten that stop, and then I could have a chance to go up 2 possessions. But J-Wall gets the stop. Basically, they both answer each other's stops, and we have a chance. J-Wall on conservative. I love that move. I'm a big believer in that if you think you're one of the best offensive players in the world, if you think you're better than the player that you're playing against, you should be on conservative. That typically, a fumble will lose you a game. In my opinion, not often will a spin win you a game. That's my opinion, especially if you think you're the better player. Going with that backwards drag right there. Yep, and you're able to see like both these guys trying to abuse that playmaker. A playmaker is such a OP ability, for lack of a better word. I don't like it being in the game. I didn't really see it in Next Gen this past Madden. I don't know if it was any good in Next Gen. It might not be good at all. But dang, when this stuff was popular, I always thought playmaker was such a Mickey Mouse ability, for lack of a better word. J-Wall runs down 2nd and 1. I don't love that run call, to be honest with you, especially into a no huddle. Maybe if you're trying to chew now, I guess J-Wall is just really persistent. He thinks he can get big runs against this defense, and he just can't. 8 rushes for 28 yards. That's not the style that J-Wall wants to go with. So I'm pretty shocked that he keeps on running the ball. He just thinks he has to be able to get a big run, I guess. I think he just thinks that he's bound to get a big run against this style of defense, which that I get, but I don't love it. I don't love it. And yeah, you just see, I mean, look, we're going drag motion crosser, 2 man beating routes. J-Wall takes a really bad sack. J-Wall kind of playing a couple of undisciplined sacks he took right there. I mean, that went from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 18. Surprised he took that. Kind of he's playing dumb, honestly. Now, this is a kind of a game where you kind of have to make more plays on offense. And, Madden 22, you could really do whatever. Madden 21, you kind of had to, sometimes you have to take a risk and, kind of sprint outside the pocket to be able to actually move the ball. It's just, yeah, not great. Ends up getting sacked and, yeah, pushed him to a 4th and has to punt. The big thing with those sacks is that, like, your play call on 3rd and 18 is so much different than your play call on 3rd and 8. Just the amount of time you need, just the amount, everything changes from 3rd and 18 to 3rd and 8. First attempt for Pavin, does a little bunch flipperooski. J-Wall still running a bunch of man coverage, though. You're going to see a lot of posts, a lot of corners. Pretty much bagged across the board, and Pavin has to throw the ball away. It's so weird seeing how the game was played back here, because I mean, I remember I played this game. I didn't play competitively a ton during this time. I lost in clubs. So this is part of the clubs tournament. I lost. This is in January, I believe. I lost in the Final Four of Bucks Club this year to Clef in October. And this tournament ran from beginning of October, basically, all the way through January, which, I mean, is kind of a long tournament. So I lost in October in the Final Four of my club to Clef, which is, I mean, I felt good at the game, but Clef was definitely better than me. And so, I mean, there wasn't another tournament to prepare for, so for, 4 months, so I just stopped playing comp. So I was a little bit not as in the loop at back then at this time as I am like right now. Pavin able to just barely fit in that corner route, able to fit it in by getting the angle. Watch, something to consider here, a lot of people don't consider this, is that angles play a factor in passing, right? Angles play a huge factor in passing. Actually, it was a post route. It was a motion over corner route turned into a post. And that, watch this route, right? If he throws this RB from sitting in the pocket, let's say he's sitting right here, and he throws this ball to RB, this is more than likely picked. But because he rolls out, he's able to get this angle like this, which gives him more of a direct line to be able to make this throw. See how close that was just like that? And had he not rolled out like that, certainly going to get picked off. And that was just Pavin's first completion. He's 1 for 5. I mean, it's crazy thinking about the drastic difference in how the game was played. Now, I love a defensive Madden. I don't love a Madden predicated around man coverage. I think it's boring for the average player to play. I think it's boring for, I feel like, everybody to play. It's a lot of just kind of hoping. It's like, because man coverage is so inconsistent at times too. Good dot right there. Tight end, taking advantage of the tight end. Because man coverage is so inconsistent at times, it's really just kind of you hoping. It's a lot of you hoping the defense plays for you, which I don't agree with that necessarily at all. Now, I don't love easy offense either by any means. I'm not a fan of a man coverage meta. It's boring. It's kind of just praying, man, I hope my man coverage bags. A lot of players aren't making crazy adjustments. It's not fun for me. It really isn't. Pavin, one of the worst play calls I've seen. I'll be honest. Yeah, that was terrible. He's just gonna take 3. That was the worst. I don't know what that was. That was terrible. I'll just say it. All right, we gotta skip ahead. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Pavin though, able to get 3 points before half right there, right? And then now he has ball on his own 36. So a chance to take a 2-possession lead in this game. If you take a 2-possession lead, you're in a pretty freaking good spot. You see the man coverage from J-Wall across this right side. The tight end is bagged. Everything's bagged. Has to throw it away. It's good defense from J-Wall. And this is a time when escape bars isn't very good. So you're not able to totally take advantage of escape bars as you are in Madden 22, where that in and of itself could get you yards. You're just not able to do that as well. You see both of them rolling out the pocket quite a bit, but it's not as playing with utter disrespect for mankind. I don't know what happened right there. Pavin making kind of a dumb read. Let's see. I don't know why. That should have been picked. I'm not sure what Pavin just threw. Pavin 4 for 10. A lot of them been throwaways, but that was bad. That was bad. All right, bunch left. We're probably going to see a flipperooski to the right side. We do see a flipperooski to the right side. Watch the tight end here on a corner route. That's going to be his main thing right here. This tight end has a bunch of abilities. Tight end not open, though. It's open late. It is open late. It's not open late. Probably should have been picked off right there as well. Pavin's like, yeah. Oh, hey, TD Barrett. What's up? Pavin's going to punt, though, so if J-Wall not getting that pick isn't the worst thing in the world. Just because like the style of this game is to punt on 4th down a lot. So it is what it is. J-Wall down 3-0. 4 minutes left in the third. Plenty of time to do whatever he wants. He can take a long drive. He can go for a quick drive if he wants here. Although, you really got to be pushing for 7. 3 obviously will tie it, but you don't want Pavin to have a chance to be able to kick 3 to win the game. And there's that run. Again, J-Wall going to that run. Finally, he's able to break it. This is what he was kind of expecting over and over. That's his 9th carry of this game. And that's the first one that actually got some pretty good yards, right? Remember on the very first carry, it looked like he could have broken it for more. Then he was kind of getting snuggied. Right there, he's finally able to break it. And if he's able to consistently get that going, that kind of starts to push Pavin's hand and force his hand into doing into changing his defense and doing things that Pavin doesn't want to do. Right there, Pavin's able to stop that run only for a gain of 3 or 4. But J-Wall's not. It's weird because J-Wall's not a runner like that. So like the 4-yard gain, J-Wall doesn't really like. He feels like it's kind of a wasted play. But he also feels really confident in his ability to break runs against this defense. So boom, right there, ends up getting hit stick. Now you're not 3rd down. And that's why I don't love 2nd down runs in this situation, because now you're in a bad spot where you're on a 3rd and 6. There's a good chance, there's a realistic chance that you get bagged this play, right? Or just don't pick up the 1st down for some reason, and it pushes you into a 4th and something in an offensive-minded Madden where you could easily get stopped. I don't love 2nd down runs unless you're very close to that 1st down marker, but in that case, I still don't like it. Really, 2nd down, I just don't like running the ball. Let's see how J-Wall's able to attack this defense right here. Attacks with the touchdown. What happened here? What happened right here? So let's look on the left side. I believe we're going to get Randy Moss going to get pressed. Yeah, Randy Moss just routes this dude. Tries getting pressed. Boom. All right, that's nice. What's J-Wall's celebration? J-Wall's very excited. J-Wall's very, very excited. Let's see what Pavin does. Pavin has to get 7 now. All right. Let's see Pavin running the ball. You see, it's funny because so many people like hate on running. But you'll see, I mean, obviously this is a game for $100,000 or something like that. So people are going to do what they feel like is the best thing in the game to do. But like people hate on running, but both these guys have ran the ball. Two very established people for being known to throw the rock. Both running the ball quite a bit. Which in and of itself, nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's just funny to sometimes sit back and recognize like, oh, like on the biggest stage, these guys who preach to pass the ball are running the rock some. But I mean, everyone's like that, so you can't take nothing away from it. Let's see. Good defense from J-Wall. Great defense from J-Wall. Has to throw it away. I mean, you can see how hard it is to move the ball. Pavin 5 for 13 right now with 80 yards. Going back to the bunch tight end right here. Has the halfback out of the backfield. He's going to throw the halfback. Bo Jackson. Gain of about 9. So what, 3rd and 1? 6 for 14 for 89 yards. It's just so different than Madden 22. It's funny. Between which I would prefer, I would say, for the sake of what I do, I'm obviously not fully comp. My mind's more content based. I think Madden 22 gameplay is better for content purposes than Madden 21 was, because again, I think the man coverage meta I just think it's boring. I just think it's very, very boring. I'd rather see more explosive plays, to be honest with you. With that being said, though, this game was an extremely, this is very high level Madden right here, and you could tell like it is extremely high level Madden. If either of these dudes played the average 20-win weekend league player, they destroy them. It's not even close. Bo Jackson about to get another handoff right here. Motion right to left. That's Randy. And Bo getting a game about nothing. It's funny, like these guys are running the ball a decent amount when they're not gaining a ton of yards. J-Wall's broken off one run, a few decent runs, but mostly just one run most of his yards came off of. Pavin, that was his 3rd carry of the game, which isn't that many, but is more than you would expect in the 3rd. Like, it's not totally Pavin's MO. Pavin again has to throw the ball away right here. 7 for 16 for 99 yards, 3rd and 10. And it's like, if you're Pavin and you get stopped right here in 4th and 10, do you just kick and just cut it to a 1-point lead and say you have to? Because if you cut it to a 1-point lead, you technically don't have to get a stop, right? Because if he scores 7, you're only down 8. So he probably kicks. I really don't remember what happens right here. Motions over the corner route, turns it into a post route. J-Wall's user. Baggy, looking for the route bounce. Nothing's open. Good pocket from Pavin. Good pocket. Takes a sack, though. Loses a yard. I'm guessing Pavin kicks right here. He does. And we're going to cut this to a 1-point game. And this is a hell defensive matchup, dude. Yeah, we're going to take this to 4th quarter. 5 minutes left. And let's see, how do you just get a big play? 2nd and 13. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, he took advantage of a misalignment. J-Wall saw. All right, so, yeah, J-Wall motions over right here and sees that there's a misalignment in the defense, so he immediately streaks this guy. So when he gets out here, just coming out a streak, he's going to be able to instantly snap throw it, right? Yeah. Yep, and just a misalignment on Pavin's part. Which is a big deal for J-Wall. Every yard's so hard to gain in this game. And he stays in bounds, so the clock is going to keep ticking, which at this point, J-Wall doesn't mind, right? By any means. Let's see, is Terry McLaurin going to get motioned? He is. He's going to be on this little route right here. Yep, the playmaker up is so lethal. Pavin in zone right there. The playmaker up doing such a good job of sitting in the pocket. I mean, watch. And this is something that's going to come back in Madden more likely than not. Is this drag, right? He's about to run into this flat zone right here. So it's kind of bad, right? This drag's, unless it's thrown like right there, it's bagged. But if you're able to playmaker him up, you're able to throw it in all this area right here. And that's exactly what he does. See? Boom. Clock is still ticking. J-Wall is purposely milking that clock down to some low seconds. See a clock dripping down to 11. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't milk it further. Looking, Pavin's user has to stay on this angle route. He doesn't, and it leaves it wide open. Huge play for J-Wall. Huge play. Ooh, it's funny. J-Wall's actually way more passing proficient than Pavin was. I didn't realize that. J-Wall's 11 for 13, but he's taken a couple more bad sacks, and he's ran the ball a few more times. But it's worth noting that J-Wall, even in this game, is passing at a very high clip. Needs to find a way to score those. This is the toughest part of the field. Going to run the ball, looking for that cutback. Actually stops and then cuts it up still. 12 rushes for 61. 2nd and 6 now. Clock is still dripping. He's on conservative. He goes on balanced. Goes back to conservative. Okay. It's not worth... For J-Wall, that fumble loses him the game. Whereas what you gain from a spin... I mean, you could score a touchdown, but at the very least, J-Wall knows he should go up 4, right? Kicks 3, goes up 4, and forces Pavin to have to score a touchdown, which he hasn't yet. So I like that decision. Has X, gets the first down again, doesn't get into the end zone, but on the 1 yard line, it's not that bad. I mean, it's pretty easy to score from this point. Going into what's J-Wall going into. Now he's going out balanced. Probably going to goes on aggressive. I'm not going on aggressive on 1st and goal. Maybe if it gets to like a 3rd and goal, maybe. But this is scary because you can get his stick to fumble this ball. Touchdown here is huge. Probably going to drip this clock too, isn't he? Unless he sees an opening. Drips it down to about 8. Doesn't get in. And that's a situation where if he gets a hit stick right there, that's a fumble. There's a good chance of the fumble. And look, because J-Wall also didn't let the clock drip, yeah, and you see him actually pointing to his head. Look at J-Wall. Look at J-Wall. He's gonna start playing. Yeah, I snapped it too early. Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Now you don't get to take this to a 2-minute warning. Good job. Jeez, dude, aggressor right here is so scary. I mean, a fumble doesn't lose you the game, I guess, but it's scary. Gets into the end zone though. He's gonna kick his extra point as well to go up 8 points. Pavin needs to come down and get 2. Touchdown and 2. Playmaker backwards. Terry McLaurin able to get out of bounds for Pavin. That's big. 8 for 17. The clock matters here a ton because it looks like he's going to be moving the ball pretty slowly. It's just big plays aren't really happening. You got to take your checkdowns over and over. And for you to be able to take your checkdowns over and over, you need a lot of time. Is he running the ball right here? No, okay. J-Wall calling a timeout. J-Wall some sort of misalignment on defense. Didn't like it. I love that from J-Wall. That is a big deal. Like, these situations, don't be afraid to call timeouts. And especially when you know you don't need the timeout necessarily. Like, J-Wall really doesn't need 3 timeouts in that situation. Pavin, PA boot over. Nothing's really there. I guess maybe he could have launched X at a certain point. Throws it away. So big thing here is that we're still above the 2-minute warning. That's an extra timeout for Pavin if he gets tackled in bounds, which is huge. So just barely able to stay within the 2-minute warning. Let's see. What's he going to? Little out route, has the out route. Pavin makes the read, gets it, cool. 2-minute warning hits, 1:57 left. Pavin down 8 on the 43. This is he's moving the ball pretty decently this drive right now, honestly. So we're gonna see. I'm guessing he's gonna start hitting playmaker drags backwards a little bit more. J-Wall, I mean, this is a stop wins you the game, but it's a great spot to be in for J-Wall because he knows worst case scenario, Pavin can tie this game up. Worst case scenario that happens this drive is a tie. And that is extremely hard of Pavin to do. Bo Jackson with the carry. He ends up juking into a tackle, which could have been a his stick. I'm such a big believer in playing on conservative. But I guess in this situation is actually kind of a spot where I'm cool with Pavin being unbalanced here. Because this is a chance where, hey, you kind of need a spin. You kind of need a juke move to kind of break you open. He had extra a second, throws it away instead. But yeah, this is a situation where it's like, hey, if you fumble, you fumble. If you fumble, it's just man saying, hey, you're losing, right? I mean, offense is so hard here. That spin move is a big deal. I definitely could see that. I definitely agree with that logic. J-Wall calling a timeout again. I guess misaligned, didn't like his defense, but hey, that's totally fine to do. Pavin going right back to that same flip, trying to get J-Wall off balance again. He doesn't. Let's see, what does this play? Gets the curl route, just barely able to fit it in, but it is a throw you can make. J-Wall does know that. J-Wall takes advantage of those curl routes himself. Let's see, 1st and 10. Ooh! Tight ends. I said tight ends are going to be the biggest thing in this game. Darren Waller doesn't win right here. He doesn't win on this corner route. Pavin just thought he would, and he's able to get the pick. Pavin has 3 timeouts. J-Wall just needs to get a 1st down. Jeez, I actually forgot that happened. The tight end almost always wins on that, but that's what I was talking about with man coverage being inconsistent. That's why I don't love man coverage being a meta, because it's an inconsistent meta. I don't like inconsistencies. J-Wall, yeah, ends up breaking. Very ironic timing to break this run, by the way. Very ironic. He should fall down too. Yeah, he does. GG's. Yeah, J-Wall wins. I mean, that's a hell of a game right there, though. You have to like that. I remember watching this. I was super happy. Yeah, J-Wall during this time span, by the way, J-Wall won Mutthead League, won this, and won the college tournament championships thing, which is a really big deal. All in the course like a month and a half. He's by far the best player in the world during this time span, and he showed during this game, really not making many mistakes. Yeah.